Irreverent, entertaining, cool. You're listening to LA Talk Radio.
You're listening to What Women Want with Judy Goss, only on LA Talk Radio.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in. Welcome to What Women Want Talk Radio for our show tonight called Making It Personal. I'm your host, Judy Goss, along with my co-host, who is also an actress and a producer, Kristin West. What Women Want is coming up on 3 years of airtime. Can you believe it? It's actually this month, the anniversary, and we thank all of you for getting us to over 700,000 downloads so far. We enjoy every show, and we really hope you do also. If you want to listen to past shows, go to LA Talk Radio's website archives or subscribe to us on iTunes or Google Play. You'll hear some of our celebrity guests like former O.J. Simpson prosecutor Marcia Clark, five-time Olympian Jackie Edwards, the author from Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, Dr. Kristin Carlson was on the show, and famous actresses, TV hosts, entrepreneurs, love coaches, tarot card readers, all kinds of women and some men who are inspiring and unique in their very own ways. You are listening to What Women Want here on LA Talk Radio. For our show tonight, Making It Personal. Our show is about personal stories and how women and men are using their own adversities and triumphs to open businesses. In my opinion, it makes for a much stronger foundation for a business and definitely influences the amount of passion and dedication one puts into building a business. It certainly has done that for me, and also for someone I know. Her name is Alikay Naturals. That's for sure. Alikay is the founder of Bad Widow. She shows women who are caregivers or bereaved how to navigate loss and handle unimaginable challenges powerfully and peacefully with a time-tested, actionable insights, self-care practices, and strategies. So email Alikay at badwidow.com. That's Alikay with one L. Or call 718-612-9963 to talk about hiring her as a speaker or for personalized one-on-one support. It's always so impressive when women, turn their negative experiences into a positive, and making it personal. Alikay has definitely done and is reaching out to other women out there. So thank you, Alikay, for offering this service to women. Again, her website is badwidow.com. Now, a little bit about your hosts this evening. I'm Judy Goss, and besides this awesome radio show, I'm also a TV host. I am a regular contributor on NBC and Fox, an entrepreneur. I founded the nationally acclaimed What Women Want networking group 5 years ago. Oh my gosh, can't believe it. And, actually, about 5.5 years ago. And it now has 20 chapters around the country. I am a St. Martin's Press author and a freelance writer for New York Lifestyles magazine. And the most important job of all, I am the mom of twin girls who are now almost 13, 2 teen girls in the house, 1 cranky mom. Wild stuff going on. What Women Want Networking. My company, I have my show, What Women Want Talk Radio, and my company, What Women Want Networking, is having our first national conference in October called Spirit of Women. That's in Atlanta, October 7th through 8th. And we have our first VIP sponsor, I'm proud to say. It's the founder of womenforone.com, Kelly McNellis. And she will be running a workshop as well during the conference called Find Your Voice and Make Life Happen. I am so excited. We're going to have more info about how you can get tickets and all that very soon. It's going to be an epic event, the first Lifestyles Networking Conference. My philosophy has always been about the well-rounded woman, the balance and peace that comes in learning everything about ourselves, not just, business, passing around business cards and trying to make contacts for business, but all of it, mental, physical, everything. We also have, I just confirmed, psychological award-winning TV reporter, Dr. Robbie Ludwig, and she's one of our featured speakers at the event. So our networking website is whatwomenwantnetworking.com. Stay tuned for more info. We're just starting to get this out there that we're doing the Spirit of Women Conference, and we're going to have game-changing women, of course, from all around the country. Maybe Kristin West will come. My co-host Kristin is an award-winning actress and producer. She is the winner of a Best Actress Award for the film Seeking Valentina. She was nominated for Best Actress and the Mary Austin Award for Female Producers. And she's won the Indie Spirit Award this year at the Idlewild International Film Festival. Wow, Kristin, you're busy. You going to have time to come down to Atlanta in October, maybe?
I was thinking about it, so I would be really excited to go to Atlanta. Actually, Atlanta's a big filming city. It's a big film hub. So I would be really enthused to get to go there and, of course, see you and all of the wonderful women in the networking group.
You know what? I'm down in Atlanta very often. I've been down there, I guess 8-10 times maybe in the past couple of years. And it is true. Atlanta is booming in the film industry. So it's very exciting. And if you don't have one of your, festivals that you're getting all the awards for acting and producing on October 7th through 8th, I would love to have you join us. Now, what's going on in Hollywood? Do you have any good stories for us?
It's very windy. my truck got inundated with tree pollen.
Oh, no.
Because of the winds.
I'm not crying for you. Well, you know what? I'm very excited to have a very special singer-songwriter on the show tonight. She's stopping by to talk about her newest release. It's country songbird Tiffany Carlin. She's all the way from Texas, and I'm very proud of her and very excited to have her on the show and talk about what's coming up. Tiffany, you there?
Hey, Judy. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing? I wanted to play a snippet of your new release there, but I guess the Mercury in retrograde things happen, right?
That's what happens to us moms, isn't it? The juggle is real.
Yeah, exactly.
The juggle is real, and it sometimes doesn't play out perfect.
Let us know what the latest and the greatest and the hottest song coming out in the country music industry is next week.
So I'm really, really excited. We are releasing a song called Vacation. It is my debut single to radio. It hits iTunes and Spotify, Amazon, Google, Groove, and anywhere else you can get on digitally. And then, of course, it hits Texas radio and all that whole market that we hit out here. It's going to hit on Tuesday the 18th. So I am super excited about Vacation. It's a really, really fun song. I think we're all gearing up for vacation, aren't we?
I'm always looking forward to my vacations. Let me tell you something. To write a song about that's probably the perfect topic.
So when you hear the song, so I know we're not getting to listen to it tonight. I'm sorry that everybody's not getting to listen, but it will. We are premiering the song on Friday night on Country Blast Radio Live. That's an interview with the Josie Show. And if you just Google Country Blast Radio, it'll come up so they can hear it for the first time there, too. But it's ironic because the song isn't about what you would think vacation technically would be about. It's this fun song about how sometimes our husbands or significant others might think our day-to-day life as moms and daily jugglers. We're business owners, we're moms, we've got a lot going on, and sometimes they forget that we're not on vacation when they're on vacation.
Hey, you know what? Our sound engineer just messaged in, and we're going to try to play a snippet. Let's see if we can do it.
Oh, awesome.
Dina, can you patch that through?
So you're back from your trip. I heard you caught a lot of fish and drank a lot of beer. Oh, I'm happy for you, dear. It's been a long 8 days, but you don't have to worry. No, you don't have to worry about a thing. 'Cause here's my vacation. I'm cooking all the meals.
Thanks, Judy. I appreciate you.
Oh my gosh. And, good luck with it. Let me tell you something. A lot of authors, almost every single author, I think, that has had a book coming out has made it to the best-selling list. So you know what? I'm going to claim the same with your song next week. So good luck.
Okay, I take that as an awesome way to begin the week. So I really appreciate you. I appreciate all your support.
I appreciate you coming on the show and taking time to tell us about your new song.
Yeah, and they can find out more about me, and the entire album, which is titled "It's a Girl Thing" appropriately, will release in late May, and you can hear more about all of it at TiffanyCarlin.com.
That's Tiffany Carlin, CarLen.com, and go on Spotify and vote for that girl thing.
Thanks,
you, Tiffany.
Judy. Love you to pieces. Bye.
Back at you, babe. Okay, Kristin, let's bring on Stacia. Stacia is the founder and CEO of itBandz. itBandz, the Z, where she designed and developed the itBandz teller bands to provide a solution for people who suffer from knee pain and yet want to continue with an active lifestyle. Don't we all? Over the past 3 years, she successfully bootstrapped this innovative product into a sustainable and growing business. Stacia is passionate about meeting customer needs and driving solutions that deliver exceptional value to customers. Stacia, are you still on the line?
I am, Judy. Thank you so much for having me join you this evening.
We've had a few technical difficulties this evening, so I'm glad you're still with us.
You bet.
Well, speaking of difficult, it's tough to get a business up and running, isn't it?
It is. It is. Aside from raising my two teenagers, I've got two teenagers, one who is a senior in high school and one who's a freshman. It is definitely the hardest thing I've ever done.
Besides had them, right?
Yeah, well, there is that.
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
Yes. But that feels like a really long time ago now.
I know. You've forgotten about those days. I haven't forgotten about having two babies at once. I don't think I'll ever forget about that. Yeah, it was interesting. But I've had a networking company for about 5 years. We're still pretty small in the industry, so it takes a long time. Tell me about how you got your light bulb idea when you first started.
So I started running, and I actually started running with a group of girlfriends, more because I really love them and love spending time with them than because I had decided to go out and be this big runner. And as we started running together, it's kind of a exercise, group therapy, fun thing to do, and I really fell in love with it. And as I increased my miles, my knee pain really started, my right knee in particular, really started acting up. And so as I was training for my first half marathon, I was having increasing knee pain, went into my sports med doctor, started doing physical therapy, all the things I was supposed to do, but it wasn't really helping. And so my PT actually said that I needed to dial things back, and that really wasn't an option. I can get a little bit competitive.
I can imagine a woman like you doesn't take that lightly.
Yes, exactly. So instead of doing that, I went out to my local pharmacy and bought one of every kind of knee brace that they had in the hopes that one of them might help me. And I stumbled across patellar bands, and that's the category of knee brace that I've developed. And so I wore it for about 6 months, and it helped, but it would rub the back of my knee raw. It didn't really give me the support that I wanted. It slipped and didn't stay in place. And then one rainy Seattle afternoon, I actually was out for a run by myself, and which I, by that point, needed to do for my mental health, if not for my physical health. And the band that I was wearing fell off my knee. And so I stopped, and I picked it up out of a puddle, and it's pissing down rain in true Seattle style. And I thought, I could make a better band than this. And my background real quick is I have 20 years of product development and product marketing experience in the mobile space. But, I thought I'd just apply those same principles in a new area. And I very quickly ran home with this big idea bouncing around my head. And as I did the market and competitive research on the space, what I found is that there wasn't anything out there really made for women. All the solutions in the marketplace were black and bulky and, really really orthopedic. So not fun, not fashionable.
So you didn't really need to have a medical background to come up with something like this?
No, I am a huge advocate of user-driven design, of understanding your customer and starting there. And so when that development philosophy is followed, you really do start with your customer and the problem statement or the need and understanding what the issue is. And since I had this problem, there was no better customer to start with.
Love it.
Right? And so I started from a design perspective there, and then I followed what is called an agile development process. And what that is it's a really common sense to development, and it's really the process which is followed in tech now and mobile. And you get to a rapid prototype, and you do A/B prototype testing with users. So I pulled together a user group, did prototype testing to iterate on design until I got to a band, which I felt was a pretty good candidate for the final specs. And then I brought in physical therapists and worked with them to have them use my band with their patients and give me kind of that final round of feedback on it.
That sounds smart. I did that when I started my networking company, and I went around, surveying the women. I was having events, and I didn't charge anyone because I didn't really know what I was doing yet. So I just kept having the events, and those customers were my, research that I was going out, and I would hand out surveys at the beginning of the event saying, what do you want out of this group? What do you want to learn? Who do you want to hear? And, what topics and that type of thing. And I literally built my company around that customer, and it sounds like you did too. So, that's very smart. So the solution problem thing, I feel like you found really a specific solution to that problem. And that's kind of one of the first things you hear on Shark Tank, right? Well, so what's the problem? What problem are you finding a solution for? And that type of thing. That's the first thing they teach you when you go out pitching for funding and things like that. So it's interesting. So I like how you combine the practical, the knee bands, the pain, trying to help people with that, with your blogs on your website. And it's still practical things, but there's some tidbits on your website like, did you know you can walk around without a kneecap? And, babies are born without kneecaps. I had no idea. The only land mammal that cannot jump. Kristin, do you know the only land mammal that cannot jump?
I'm going to guess and say it's the giraffe.
Elephant.
What?
That's right.
I mean, I don't see giraffes jumping up and down, but you know what?
They don't have to.
Exactly. And it's just, I love, okay, so you're putting out this practical product and then you're combining the personal with it. And I think that fuels it with passion and authenticity.
And it is, Judy, seriously, it is what has kept me going is knowing how much it's helped me and meeting other people who are my customers and my users who share with me what a difference it's made to them. And I've learned all these crazy, quirky things about knees. And so I kind of decided if I'm gonna be the knee lady woman, then I would jump all in. And so it is really that knowing that what I'm doing will help people stay active because that's so important to me. And I literally got to the point where I would go for a run with my friends, and the next day I would struggle to go up and down a single flight of stairs, and that sucks.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah.
And you're helping so many people. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say it's they're starting kind of what you said in the beginning about how starting a new business or any type of new undertaking is really hard, and you need having that personal passion and being able to go back to that place is what truly kept me going, and which I think has helped so many other entrepreneurs and people as they've struck off in a new direction.
So what would you say to people listening out there that want to start their own company? They say they have an idea and they feel like, they can do something about it. But what's the first step they should take after, I guess, the research, because we already talked about that?
I think it's really important to get to an early sample, prototype, mock-up, something of whatever your idea is that you can begin to share with someone who is not immediately a friend or a family member. so the sooner that you can get your idea in front of somebody who fits your customer profile, then you're going to get that real feedback on, is it on target? Will this meet a need? And because if it does, then someone will buy it. And which is, the other part of why we all do this, right? We really hope that, that
it's sustainable.
It is sustainable, exactly, and can grow into a business. And if you put your idea, your product, your sample, whatever, out in front of people who you think are your customer, and they're, either it's off or they're not interested, it doesn't mean that you're dead in the water. What it means is you may need to go, take a step back and shift either your customer or shift your benefits, your products, your features, and until you get that product market fit, which will give you a revenue opportunity.
Excellent. I love it. So now where do we go to find this fabulous itBandz? I have one. It's helped me. I gave it to my kids and my husband because you have different sizes and different colors. And yeah, my husband loves it. So it really is. And my daughter, who she didn't shatter her cartilage or crushed her cartilage a couple of years ago, always has a problem, running, and now she's on crutches. So basically she's like standing on that knee because she hurt her other leg. And she was really depending on all of her movement for that one leg, and the itBandz really helped her. So it's not just if you have a chronic, condition, or it'll help you, if you're using another leg for support and having achy pains and that type of thing. So it's just excellent. Congratulations. Let me know the website. Is it itBandz.com with a Z?
That is correct.
And people so can go on there and comment on your blogs and things.
Please, would love that. And in addition to being able to buy direct on my website, it's also an Amazon Prime product. And so
so they can get it right away.
Yes, if you're Amazon Prime, you can have an itBandz tomorrow.
Yeah, I love it. That's great. What a great place to be on Amazon Prime. Did you have to go get? There was some sort of a special process because it seems like only probably 40% of the things that are on there have the Prime label.
That's right. So you do have to qualify as a Prime product, and that has to do with customer input and having high quality customer satisfaction, return policies, free shipping, and you have to be available on Amazon for a certain amount of time in order to get a track record and be able to make that shift. So I'm very pleased. It's new for us this year. I'm very excited about it.
Oh, congratulations. That's terrific. So everyone go to itBandz with a Z.com and read her blogs. They're pretty humorous, some of them. There's some great stuff in there. And again, I'm just fascinated and impressed how you combine the practical with that type of humor. I really think that shows your personality. And I think a lot of times people get so caught up in the business part of it that they forget that side. So I was really happy to see that. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. Yeah, exactly.
Thank you, Judy. Yeah, gotta have fun with everything we do.
Stacia Pache, I got it right, from itBandz with a Z.com. Thank you so much for coming on the show. We'll talk to you soon.
Wonderful. Take care.
Kristin, you want to bring on our other guest?
I would love to. Coined a beauty pioneer at age 26, Rochelle Graham is the CEO and co-founder of the award-winning Alikay Naturals hair, skin, and body care line sold at Target, Sally's Beauty Supply, and CVS. Graham used an initial $100 investment from her own savings to turn her kitchen into a laboratory while still in college. Today, the businesswoman, mom, and wife uses her platforms to not only educate women on quality ingredients, but to inspire and empower other women to color outside the lines to make their dreams a reality. Welcome to the show, Rochelle. How are you today?
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm doing well, thank you.
Well, I'm so excited to talk to you because you have a really interesting story. You were a YouTube star before you got on into making actual products. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. I got started as a YouTube vlogger when I was in college, but what I try to remind everyone is it was extremely early on. So it was around 2008, 2009. So YouTube was only around for about 3 years. So it was still very new as a platform. So I was one of the very first hair vloggers just on YouTube at all.
Rochelle, I can barely hear you. So if you could speak up just a tad, that would help me out.
Yes, of
you know,
course.
it's amazing that you were a an early pioneer on YouTube, and so you were doing your video logs on YouTube about caring for your hair, and your hair was damaged, right? You had been kind of keeping up with the trends and really putting your hair through some chemical processing and all of that. And did you cut your hair off? Is that what you did to try and recuperate it? And that's what led you to making these products to recuperate your hair?
Yes. So what we consider in this industry is a big chop, which is when you literally chop all of your hair off. I did my first big chop and went natural when I saw my mom's hair and how beautiful it was. And my husband thought her hair was gorgeous. So that was my first inspiration for cutting all my hair off the first time. And then I spent an entire year keeping up with the trends. I colored my hair 6 times in 1 year. It was extremely damaged, and I decided to do something that I've never seen done. I turned on my camera in my bathroom, and I showed YouTube me actually cutting my hair off again live. And I really was
the next
very
question. I was going to ask you that question. If you did it on the YouTube, that's fascinating.
Yeah, I did it on YouTube.
And was that the start of your? I'm sorry, Kristin, I'm totally like just trouncing all of your interview, but was that the beginning of your YouTube stardom?
Actually, I already started about a year before. So when I first went natural, that really was the beginning for me. So I was already 1 year in at that point, and people were really used to me being extremely open and unfiltered. I was sharing all aspects of my life. So not just my business, but, the multiple jobs I was working while putting myself through school. I was sharing school things, family. And so they knew that anything that I was going through, I was going to be pretty much open and very transparent. And this was no different.
So when you did the big chop, a lot of people, especially making content, may try another product from another mass producer. What was your aha moment that said, you know what, I need to make this product myself in my own kitchen? What was that moment for you?
So that moment for me was doing my second big chop, and I had no hair. I literally cut my hair down to about 1 or 2 inches at that point. And I realized, which was really silly, but I realized that, okay, well, I have a YouTube channel. I'm teaching women how to care for their hair. I can't do that if I'm bald. So the first thing I need to do is grow my hair back. And that really was my aha moment. So I went in my kitchen, and I actually, went back into my own memories and thought about the things that my yaya, who's my Jamaican grandmother, taught me growing up, that literally we use natural ingredients from the earth, from nature, to actually take care of ourselves for medical purposes. So I thought, well, why can't I do that for my beauty purposes? I need my hair to grow back. I decided at this point I didn't want to use any chemicals. And being a college student with no budget, because we were broke, I was not able to afford the more premium priced natural products, because those products were ranging from $30, $40, per bottle. And I was like, well, I can't afford that. And then the products that were in my price range were just filled with chemicals, or they were catered to women with looser textures, so really curly hair or wavy hair, and that hair didn't look like mine. So I decided that I was going to create the product for myself. I had no intentions at that time to make it into a business. So I took my 17 amazing ingredients that I knew were going to be able to promote natural hair growth, and I put them all in one bottle. And I made a couple of bottles for myself, didn't tell anyone about it outside of my family, and I started using it behind the scenes, never on YouTube. And people started, my subscribers, my subbies, started saying, oh my gosh, Black Onyx, which is my name on YouTube, why is your hair growing back so fast? You just cut it off. This doesn't make sense. What are you doing? So I would just mention nonchalant, oh yeah, I have this growth oil I made, and I'm using it on my hair. So people were like, can you make it and sell it to us? So I told my husband, I was like, listen, my subbies want me to make a couple bottles for them. And he's just always been the level-headed one. So he's like, Rochelle, a reality check? We don't have the money for that. He's like, we're broke. The light bill is due next week. And I was like, well, but baby, they really want it. So what I did was I decided to work an extra shift that weekend. I was waiting tables at a restaurant. And so I picked up a couple extra shifts after school and the weekend, and I made an extra $100. And that is what I took to buy the ingredients that I needed, a couple extra bottles, and I made, I believe it was either 15 or 20 bottles of growth oil. And back then it had no product name. It wasn't Alikay Naturals as yet, but I threw it up on my Etsy page where I was selling my handmade earrings at the time, and I didn't even announce it on YouTube. I woke up, I believe it was the next day after I got home from work, and all of it was sold out already. So YouTubers were like, what the heck? You promised us this product and we didn't get to purchase it. So then I told my husband, I was like, listen, I'm going to take the money that I made from selling those bottles. I'm just going to rebuy, go on eBay and buy some more of the ingredients and things I need to make a couple of more. And before I knew it, my line, Alikay Naturals, was born. That's how I started.
All of that is just incredible, how that really, you took the opportunity from really the wisdom of your grandmother, yes, and brought it into the current time and made something out of it. There's a beautiful quote on your website about the sacrifices that you made to get to where you are right now. Besides, getting that first $100 to make the product, and then the continuous work you've had to do. What are some of the biggest sacrifices or challenges that you've had to really get Alikay Naturals front and center the way you have?
So definitely there's been many sacrifices. One of the things that I'm extremely grateful for is that I have an amazing supportive family. My grandparents worked with me early on, like hands-on in my kitchen, hands-on in my condo, hands-on in my warehouse, even until now. My grandparents actually still work for me. They refuse to retire, and I'm like, why are you here? Every day I go to the warehouse, I'm like, are you sure you don't want to be home? So I just have an amazing supportive family, and also my husband gave up his career after he graduated. He decided to not go into being an aviation mechanic, and he just really jumped in to help me grow this business. So having that support system was great. But on the other side of it, the challenges were, when I first started my business, I was 22 years old. So I'm now 30. I've been doing this for 8 years. So I was in college. I was extremely young. I didn't have capital. So not having capital definitely caused a lot of limitations, and it did slow our company's growth, but I'm extremely grateful that we did decide to bootstrap our business, because we started with that $100 investment, and my husband and I made the decision early on that we were going to operate as a debt-free business as long as we could. So far now we've made it 8 years, still completely debt-free. We don't have any investors, any loans, anything like that. So we simply run our business based on the capital that we are bringing in, which is extremely difficult. But it does make you extremely cautious and more driven on a daily basis, because you have to get up, you have to work, you have to keep being amazing and great and creative in order to keep your business growing. Another challenge that we faced is we live in a very small town. Our facility is located in Fort Myers, Florida. We're here because of family. I love being close to family. I've always been very family oriented, and I do believe that as a woman I can have family and a successful career in business. But with that comes limitations of access to staff. So when hiring and building our headquarters team, it is extremely difficult unless we are transplanting and having people move from a major metropolitan area to come here. It's really difficult to hire people that have the experience in our industry based in our small town. Another challenge we faced early on was losing friends So, we're in college and everyone else was partying and hanging out and, doing amazing things and shopping. And we definitely didn't do any of that because we number one, didn't have the time to, or I didn't have the time to. And I chose to spend that time into building my business. And it also came with sacrifices for school. I was attending school to get my bachelor's, in business administration, and my major was marketing. I changed from finance and decided that wasn't right for me, switched over to marketing, and then I was supposed to be attending law school immediately after graduation. Well, with this business starting, I had to dedicate a lot of my time to growing my brand. So it was an extreme juggle with having to wake up in the morning, mix products with my husband, and then we would have to take shifts in between our classes, and then we were both working 2 jobs. I was waiting tables, he was delivering pizza, we were both in college, and we were throwing newspapers at night. So there were a lot of sacrifices with time and really having time for self as well.
That's incredible. All of what you've just described.
Such a great story.
Yeah.
Thank you.
How many stores are you in now? I'm curious. You're in major stores. You're in Target. You're in Sally's Beauty Supplies. How many stores is Alikay Naturals reaching?
We are in approximately between 10,000 to 12,000 stores currently, and this is worldwide, so nationwide as of 2 years ago, but now we are a global brand. So in the U.S. market, we're in Target, Sally's, Rite Aid, Kroger, Meijer, Bed Bath & Beyond, Harmons, and we just launched into CVS 2 months ago. We're also going to be announcing more retailers in partnerships very soon. And then as far as countries, of course, here in the U.S. domestically, Canada, the Caribbean, and we've just recently signed contracts in Egypt, Dubai, in Europe, like in London, and then also the Netherlands, which a lot of people are like, oh my goodness, what? But yeah, we have a really strong customer base in the Netherlands. So we'll be going to Dubai very soon. And we just got back from Italy about 3 weeks ago, meeting with some of our customers and business partners there as well.
Well, the reach of this product is incredible. And I will tell you why, Rochelle, because I was researching the brand ahead of the interview. And right now I'm actually patching in from a very remote area of Texas. And I am closer to your product at this moment than I am the next major city.
Awesome.
So your product is going far and wide.
Oh.
I'm 20 minutes away from your by truck. I'm an hour away from the next major city. So it's pretty incredible to me, the reach of your product, which is so a testament to you and your skills. Yeah, I looked down and went, what? Let's talk about something. This was a DIY business, a do-it-yourself business when you started. You were making it and mixing it and making the blends. What was the biggest challenge or surprise that you had when you went to mass production of this item? What did that take for you to get it kind of out of the kitchen and into the stores? You talked about the employment issues, you talked about packaging and all of that, but how did you kind of transition this business to be the giant that it is?
So there was definitely no blueprint laid out for us because obviously we didn't really have a mentor or anyone to guide us through the process. So it really was a trial and error. And it was, taking a step and then saying, oh my goodness, I really hope this is the right step. And then saying, okay, we're good. That's literally what it felt like. But we were mixing from our 2-bedroom condo when we were in college, and we converted our kitchen and our guest room into workspaces. And after graduating, and I had to break it to my mother that I was not going to law school, we moved here to Fort Myers, and we were operating out of our home. And then it quickly outgrew our home, and we moved into a condo and used that condo to manufacture, and quickly outgrew that. And we moved into our first commercial space. It was only approximately 1,000 or 1,200 square feet. And approximately a year and a half later was when we first were in contact with Target. And so we were like, okay, well, this is great. This is an awesome opportunity. Once we realized what our production volume was going to have to be, we quickly had to relocate to a bigger facility. And within 3 months after opening Target, our products were flying off the shelf. So we had to increase production even more. So we had to leave that facility and move into our current warehouse, which is approximately 6,500 to 7,000 square feet, and we actually manufacture our products. So that's one of the things that's really unique about the Alikay Naturals brand is a lot of our competitors, once you reach the point of going into a major retailer, they typically outsource their manufacturing, but we made a promise to our customers in the beginning that I was always going to make sure that I produce the same quality products that I did when I was doing it at home, now that we're sold in major stores. And in order to do that, and do that honestly, we had to figure out how to scale our manufacturing, scale our production, scale our shipping, scale everything, and we didn't have much time to do so. One of the things that was an extreme shock for us was going from, the small orders that we had, because prior to launching into our first retailer, Target, we already had about 100 to 120 independent stores that were carrying our products. So I was doing a lot of door-to-door, a lot of grassroots, marketing to really get the products out there. So we went from that to 100 Target stores, and then immediately they scaled us up to 350, and then immediately to 500, and then 1,000. So it was just quick jumps, and we always thought that it was going to be a slower process. Another thing that was a major shock was the turnaround time. So you're getting these orders of, sometimes 1,000 to 2,000 cases of one of your products or one of your SKUs, and you have between 15 to 30 days to get it sent out. And you can't give any excuses. It's either you get it done or you don't. And so there was a lot of pressure, because if you miss deadlines, you can end up with crazy fines, and it gets very complicated. So it's stepping into a bigger arena that has you just had a lot more to risk and a lot more to lose. So the pressure was on the moment that we said, yes, we're going into mass retail.
Yeah, I'm just so amazed that you really rolled with the punches each time, and you didn't resist the growth of the business. Sometimes people are like, oh, we've got to slow this down, but you actually just moved with the business and let the business really burgeon and flourish in an amazing way. Now, I want to talk to you specifically about hair care, because you're an expert. What should we be aware if we have damaged hair and we know it? What are the worst chemicals for hair? What should we not be putting on our hair?
So I would definitely say, and I know this has now become more of a mainstream ingredient, but everyone should definitely try to avoid sulfates as best as possible. Sulfates are found in your shampoos. They're typically a surfactant that's used to cleanse the hair. Unfortunately, while cleansing your hair, it can also strip your hair of all of its natural oils. So you're going to wash your hair, and you're going to come out with your hair completely stripped, completely dry, sometimes feeling like straw. It dries out your scalp, which can then result in dandruff and all sort of scalp issues as well. So trying to avoid sulfates is extremely important. Also trying to avoid silicone-based products. And there are quite a few silicones, but just doing your research really when you're at the shelf, don't be afraid to be that person that's flipping that bottle over and Googling ingredients that you cannot pronounce. But silicones, what they do in styling products is they give your hair that temporary super soft effect. And so a lot of companies will put that in there, and you'll be like, oh my gosh, my hair is so soft after using this. And then a couple of hours later, your hair starts to feel extremely heavy because it's then coated by the silicone, which then prevents any type of moisturizing products from being able to penetrate the hair shaft and really moisturize your hair. And so you end up with layers and layers of this synthetic ingredient on your hair. So just kind of being aware that a lot of the ingredients that may give those temporary results can also cause long-term damage to your hair. And the last thing I would say, which is not the last of the ingredients, but definitely trying to avoid alcohol in stylers as much as possible, because obviously alcohol, it actually does dry your hair out, and that doesn't come as a surprise to a lot of us, but still a lot of people still reach for those products when alcohol is the second or third ingredient. And just understanding ingredients and making yourself aware, being an educated consumer, is extremely important. So if you're looking at the label and you're looking at the ingredients, the way that they're listed, the first ingredient is actually the one that is in the highest volume. And so it starts, with this is the most concentrated and works its way down. So if you're looking for something that has natural ingredients like almond oil or, jojoba oil or anything like that, or a specific herb, and you see it as the second to last ingredient, that formula or product probably only has like a drop of the good stuff in there. Pay attention to what is in the first 3 to 4 ingredients on the label.
Well, Rochelle, that is really great advice for all of us who care about making sure that our hair is healthy and shiny, whatever texture, wavy, curly, anything like that. So I'm so glad that you were on today. I'm so inspired by the story of your company.
Me too. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
And ladies, it's at Target, it's at Sally's Beauty Supply, it's at various pharmacies. Look them up online. And what's your website? Is it alikaynaturals.com?
Yes, it's alikaynaturals.com. And I also want people to know that, when you're looking for our products, although we started our line specifically for my hair and my texture, which is kinky hair, we've now expanded the line to having products that are available and will be able to be used on multiple textures. So when you find our product, just pick up the bottle and look for the hair dot on it that matches your texture. And then besides that, we also have amazing organic skincare and bath and body products as well.
That sounds so cool. I'm going to check it out. I have a natural wave that has a little bit of damage due to coloring, so I'm going to definitely check that out. Rochelle, thank you so much for being on with us. And next week, we're going to have some other wonderful guests. Join us again or listen to the replay on LA Talk Radio. Either way, we're going to have Jill Simonian, Fab Mom, coming back to the show to tell us how her new book is doing. Yes. We just looked it up on Amazon, and it is ranked very highly. And I'm sure our listeners are supporting that, and can't wait to have Jill back on for that. And LaWanna Harris is revealing her energy management philosophy, which if you're a mom can be challenging for sure. It's all here on LA Talk Radio, or go to whatwomenwantradio.com for more information. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. Thank you, Rochelle. Thank you, Stacia. Thank you, Judy, and have a wonderful night.
Good night, everyone.
You're listening to What Women Want with Judy Goss, only on LA Talk Radio.